Good evening and welcome to the business meeting of June 25th, 2026. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We convened the meeting actually at 6 and went into an executive session, which we have now come out of. As we open this meeting, I'd like to open it up for public comment on any of the agenda items. Okay, so then we're going to move straight to the consent agenda. Item number 1, Sam.
Resolved upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools to approve consent agenda items 2 through 10 as contained on the consent agenda for this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
The consent agenda includes approval of the previous meeting minutes, CSE, CPSE placements, approval of additional or unpaid hours for various staff members, and the postseason stipends for spring coaches. It also approves the transportation staff department for summer work for the summer programs. Approval of contracts and agreements, one with Garrison and one with Lakeland, both who are sending a student to our ESY program this summer, and an agreement with the town of Putnam Valley to use the district buses for their summer camp program. The board's accepting bid proposals for tutoring and homebound instructional services, rubbish recycling and roll-off containers, and generators and related equipment PM and repair service. Approval of the 2026 ESY program staffing, approval of some summer worker hires for the operations and maintenance department and IT summer workers. These are, many of them are recent grads from the district. Approval for additional hours for school calendar and part-time staff members during the summer for the office and for the 2 nurses, one from the middle school and one from the high school. We're also setting the July 1st, 2026 at 8 a.m. as the date for the annual reorganizational meeting of the board.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolutions pass. Reports. Dr. Luft.
Good evening, everyone. So since our last meeting, we continue to be busy as we wrap up the end of the school year. Some of the more recent events, we hosted our high school prom. We had our moving up ceremonies at both the elementary school and the middle school. Those were yesterday. Last week, we had our commencement for our high school students for the class of 2026. It ended up being a beautiful weather evening, not without some angst, since there was severe thunderstorm warnings for the duration of the day, which I feel as it happens every time we have graduation. So the tech crew was a little upset about having hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment out there, and if it started pouring, but we were committed, and Mother Nature cooperated. So it ended up being a beautiful evening, and congratulations to all of those who graduated. We've had some exceptional student speakers as well. And then for the first time ever, we actually had our UPK stepping up ceremony. So our UPK students who will be moving into kindergarten next year had their own little ceremony. It was actually very adorable. They sang, they danced, they took pictures, and they had obviously invited everyone else. They actually had a mini prom today. So the UPK kids showed up and dressed to the nines for their little prom for 4-year-olds. At the high school, we had our athletic awards. We would congratulate Kim Kastick and Ryan Fitzgerald for being inducted into the Putnam Valley Hall of Fame. And we obviously had our conclusion of our Regents exams. Middle school had our end-of-year field trips, including Lake Compounce and Bounce. Our yearbook breakfast, sponsored by the PTA, was held yesterday morning. And 8th grade dance and moving up ceremony held last evening, followed by the dance at Cortland Colonial. At the elementary school, we had our kindergarten show, we had our Flag Day celebration, we had a Revolutionary War reenactment, we had the bubble bus, and today was field day. And again, I know it was rescheduled twice, I believe, but they ended up with a beautiful weather this morning for field day. In the letter that'll be going home to community tomorrow, we talk a little bit about the construction projects that are underway. A majority of the work scheduled for this summer is taking place here on the middle school, high school campus, which means access to this campus will be greatly limited, with the exception of obviously staff. And that'll be mostly the parking lot, the retaining walls, the roofs that have not already been replaced, and some other work around there. There will be some work at the elementary school, although all of our summer programming will continue as scheduled. It's just relocated to elementary school. The work at the elementary school is all located outside of the buildings. We expect them to begin drilling the geothermal wells on the top field, as well as begin the playground replacement on the back field at the elementary school. So all of those we are hopeful to get done this summer, with the second phase of the work then being scheduled for next summer. And some upcoming meetings. Our admin retreat is scheduled for Tuesday, June 30th. July 1st is our reorg meeting, 8 a.m. scheduled here. So I know there'll be nothing on this campus, but we are going to have that meeting here. We think that we won't have any issues accessing this space at that time. And if anyone is unaware, tomorrow, June 26th, is the last day of school. So we want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and restful summer. Thank you.
What did you say was June 30th?
June 30th is our administrative retreat.
Oh,
the admin
administrative.
team, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, oh my God, I don't have it on my calendar. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And new business.
Okay.
Sam?
Very happy to read this. I'm very pleased by this. Whereas the negotiators for the Putnam Valley Central School District, the district, and the Putnam Valley Federation of Teachers, the PVFT, signed a memorandum of agreement dated June 22nd, 2026, for the term of a 4-year agreement effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2030, as presented to the board at this meeting as per document 229/26. Whereas by law, the Board of Education is required to vote to approve those monies necessary to fund the provisions of said agreement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board hereby ratifies the terms of the 4-year collective bargaining agreement between the PVFT and the district.
Second.
Questions or comments?
This is outstanding. It was a
is.
fair and very well negotiated contract, and kudos to Dr. Luff, kudos to the
PVFT.
the individuals on the PVFT, the negotiating team. I think, look, you never get everything you want, but certainly this is a very fair and equitable contract for both sides. I'm so pleased that we have this concluded before the next year started.
Yep, and that it will last for 4 years.
Yes,
A
for 4
little
years,
extension.
which is excellent.
Agreed. It's a sign of good culture.
It is,
Yeah.
it is, yes,
Collaboration.
that's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution passes. Number 2, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools to appoint Sean Michael Martin to a 4-year probationary term as a special education and social studies teacher, commencing on September 1st, 2026 and terminating on August 31st, 2030 in the tenure area of special education and social studies at the middle school on Step 1 MA of the PVFT salary schedule. Mr. Martin's New York State Social Studies 7 through 12 and Special Education K through 12 certifications are pending.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 3, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Ali Bristelli to a 4-year probationary term as a special education teacher commencing on September 1st, 2026, and terminating on August 31st, 2030 in the tenure area of special education at the elementary school on Step 1 MA of the PVFT salary schedule. Ms. Bristelli holds students with disabilities B through 2 and early childhood B through 2 initial certifications. Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 4, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of launch monitor Danielle Rentas from the district effective the close of business on June 26, 2026, as per document 224-26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Okay, I would like to now open it up to the public. They're invited to speak on any topic.
Good evening. My name is Barbara DeMay. I have served the students and families of Putnam Valley for nearly 25 years, and I come before you tonight deeply disappointed and heartbroken by the board's decision not to allow me to rescind my retirement. For many of you, I am not simply an employee. I have been your colleague, your coworker, and a member of this school community for decades. Some of us have worked together for many school years. I have dedicated my career, my energy, and my heart to the children of this district. I am also a taxpayer who has always believed in this district and trusted that people would be treated fairly, consistently, and with compassion. The circumstances that brought me here were not created lightly. I submitted my retirement based upon my understanding that I would be able to purchase prior service credit through New York State, and I would retire with 30 years of service. When I learned from the state in April that my Head Start years in the Fulton City School District did not qualify for purchase, my situation changed completely. The reason I explored purchasing those years was because of the district's health insurance provisions under the contract for this year. Due to the unpaid 7 days of my maternity leave I took in 2001, following the birth of my child, the district determined that I would not be eligible for 25 years, June 30th, 2026. Had those days not been unpaid, I would have qualified. As a result, a brief period of unpaid maternity leave has taken nearly 25 years ago to have significant consequences today. In an effort to address this situation, I investigated if I could purchase those prior service credit for my Head Start years. If those years had qualified, I would have been able to retire with 30 years of service. However, in April, New York State informed me that those years were not eligible for purchase. Once I learned that that option was unavailable, I immediately sought to rescind my retirement request and continue working for 2 additional years to earn my 30 years of service. I met with Dr. Luft, who told me he would support my request to rescind my retirement and present that recommendation to the board based on our conversation. I submitted my formal written request as soon as I learned the state would not allow me to purchase those years. It is important to note that there is no language in the contract that specifically addresses rescinding a retirement under any circumstances. On May 22nd, I was informed that my request was denied because my position had already been given to a leave replacement teacher within our building. While I was disappointed, I understood the reasoning that was presented to me. Shortly thereafter, however, the district posted a 1-year leave replacement position in the middle school, a position for which I am certified. Because there is now an available position, I respectfully asked the board to reconsider my request. My request was not about displacing any employees. No one would have had to lose a job. I believed this new circumstance warranted another review. I was then informed the board would discuss the matter at its June 11th meeting. During those 2 weeks, another significant event occurred. A teacher who had effectively been offered a position in the elementary school was accepting an employment in another district and resigned. And on June 11th at the board meeting, her accepted resignation. At that point, there are now 2 positions available within the district, my original position and the 1-year leave replacement position in the middle school. Yet despite that fact, the original reason for denying my request was no longer existed, and the board chose to stand by its previous decision. This is the part I struggle to understand. I asked for a meeting, and no one from the board met with me. No one asked to discuss any alternatives with me. No one invited a conversation about possible solutions. After nearly 25 years of service, I had hoped for at least an opportunity to talk about this. Had there been a discussion, I would have gladly signed an agreement committing to work only 2 additional years so there would be certainty regarding my plans and my retirement date. I also took the time to examine financial impact of my request. Based on my own calculations, allowing me to continue working for 2 additional years would likely cost the district less than providing lifetime health insurance coverage. The district's obligation to provide retirees health benefits presents a financial commitment that can continue for decades and increase significantly over time. From a financial standpoint, allowing me to continue working for 2 years would have been a reasonable option for both the district and the taxpayers. What makes this situation even more difficult is that over the years I've seen situations where flexibility and discretion were exercised to assist other employees. Individuals have been granted exceptions, accommodations, and special considerations in circumstances where strict application of the contract would have produced a different outcome. Whether those decisions were right or wrong is not my point. My point is that when discretion is exercised for some employees but not others, it raises serious questions about fairness, consistency, and equity. As taxpayers, we should expect that decisions involving employee benefits and contractual exceptions are applied using the same standards for everyone.
when exceptions are granted to certain individuals at taxpayers' expense, but similar considerations are denied, it creates the appearance of unequal treatment. Fairness requires that similar situations be evaluated consistently regardless of who is involved. In my case, I was not asking for a benefit that I had not earned. I was not asking the district to provide me with free lifetime health insurance. In fact, by continuing working, I would now forfeit any possibility of qualifying under the grandfathering provisions. I was simply asking for the opportunity to work 2 additional years and earn my 30 years of service before retiring. After dedicating nearly a quarter century of my life to this district, I never imagined that my final chapter here would end without dialogue, without collaboration, and without a meaningful effort to find a solution. I have taught generations of Putnam Valley children. I have volunteered my time, served on committees, mentored colleagues, coordinated grade-level initiatives, participated on district teams, and done everything I could to support this district. I have always been proud to call Putnam Valley my professional home. That is why this decision hurts so deeply. I am heartbroken that people I have known and worked alongside for so many years could not find a way to support me in finishing the career to which I have devoted my life. When there was an open position available, when no employee would have lost employment, and when there is no contractual language prohibiting a rescission, and where there may be financial advantage to the district and the taxpayers, I continue to struggle to understand why this request could not be granted. I had always believed that dedication, loyalty, fairness, consistency, and compassion mattered. Tonight, I leave disappointed that those values did not seem to matter when I needed them most. Despite my disappointment, I remain hopeful, and I respectfully ask the board to reconsider its decision. The circumstances that were originally cited on the basis for denying my request have changed. There are available positions within the district. No employee loses employment, and there is no contractual language prohibiting a rescission. And allowing me to continue working would provide an opportunity to resolve this matter in a way that is fair, reasonable, and fiscally responsible. After nearly 25 years of dedicated service to this district, I am simply asking for the opportunity to complete my career with dignity and earn the 30 years of service I have worked so hard to achieve. Thank you for listening to me.
The board is not permitted to discuss in public individual district personnel issues. So thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public would like to speak? Okay, upcoming meetings. This is the last meeting of the year for us. So upcoming meetings.
So the board's reorg meeting is scheduled for July 1, 2026, 8 a.m. High school cafeteria. That's our first meeting of next school year.
Okay, board member comments.
So I do want to recognize that one of the board members, this is her last meeting. So Ms. Crystal Hernandez is here as our last meeting. We wanted to take this opportunity to thank her for her years of service. As for anyone who is either aware or unaware, board members do this for free. They do it for their community. They do it for the children of Putnam Valley. They do it for many reasons, none of which benefit them. So I do want to recognize that Crystal is committed to 3 years of service. So we have a couple things for her. We have a plaque for Crystal.
You can hang it in your new office, Crystal.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, gosh.
This is not just a nice decoration.
And this, I thought this was just supposed to be on our table. Oh, okay.
My goodness.
And a beautiful plant.
Oh, my gosh.
for you
This
as
is
well.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. So before I speak about this, I'm going to use my last few minutes as a current board member to just speak about the previous thing we just heard. And all I would like to ask is that in these situations, while we cannot talk about them publicly, there will be follow-up from the Board of Ed President and the Superintendent, and we can assure you of that. I just want to make sure that you heard that. There will be a follow-up conversation for sure. What it is, I cannot disclose or even know at this moment what it will be, but there will be some sort of follow-up, and I just wanted to address that, okay? So that being said, thank you so much. It has been an incredible journey of learning, fun, sometimes not so fun, but nonetheless a wonderful, wonderful journey. When people asked me right after I had taken my seat as a board member, you know, is it what you thought it would be? Do you really like it? And I said, I don't know if I'm a nerd or if, you know, I'm just cuckoo about education, but I love doing this work. And I feel that way to this very moment. It has been my joy, my honor, my pleasure to serve alongside all of you. I would like the Putnam Valley community to know that you cannot find a better Board of Education anywhere. And I mean that wholeheartedly. We love children. We want the best for our children. We want the best for our community. And in conjunction with that, you will not find a leadership team like the one that sits before you anywhere. I will also say that I am incredibly grateful that the person who is inheriting this seat is also here for children. So thank you so very much. My challenge to you is to continue to be here for children, to put them first in everything that you do and every decision that you make and every voice that you bring to the table, and support the work and be honest about the work. And at the same time, always consider this community, because this community is our children essentially are a reflection of who this community is. And we are a very unique and special place. And so thank you so very much, everyone. It's been my pleasure. I will still be around in some sort of capacity. You can't get rid of me just yet. I got kids in these buildings for a really long time. Me and Jaylee will be together for a long time. So again, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for your service.
You'll be missed, Crystal. I will miss you very much. I really will.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We don't get to fight anymore. Yes, we do. What am I talking about?
Crystal, I just want to say you will be very missed, and thank you for your time and your efforts that you put towards the board and your insightfulness. While I'm going to really miss you at this table, I'm really going to miss you in executive session, because you brought a lot of information and insight that was always was helpful. And, you know, people don't see that, but understandably, but just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
I'm going to add on to that I really very much appreciate all the translations, all of the helping this poor little nurse understand situations in education that sometimes are really difficult for me to wrap my head around. It has been a pleasure, and your input will be missed.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you very much.
We know we're going to hear your voice at building steering meetings, so.
Oh, I'm going to do my best to be there.
You'll be there.
So long as they're virtual.
I do want to suggest to the board that as district employees can give their diplomas to their children, that Crystal be considered able to give her diplomas to her children as a school board member, a previous school board member.
Thank you.
So,
I don't know if it'll happen, but thank you for the
yes,
offer.
I would like to offer that to you.
She's working towards it for herself, too.
I'm
Let me
working
look
on
up at our
it.
board regs to see if that's our role.
I will give you feedback.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of your comments very much. It's absolutely been my pleasure. On the note of steering committee, while we're here, I'd like to ask that the board support whatever technology is necessary in the conference rooms of each of our schools, so that we can invite parents virtually to steering committee, so that not be an impediment for myself or for any other parent who would like to join. It's really, really hard to take off during the day.
Yeah.
And it's really hard as a parent who has multiple children in multiple schools to want to be there, and then to have to choose one because I just can't be at every one. So if that could be considered, because my understanding is that is the roadblock right now as far as why we can't really do virtual meetings. On a smaller screen, it's really hard. So there's some technology needed for each of the buildings that I don't think is far-fetched for the district to be able to provide. So just a consideration, if I might ask.
I have heard, part of the discussion is that it's very hard to do virtual and live at the same time, that
Correct.
talking over one another, whatever. So it may at least initially be like, so you can hear it and but not actually be a participant. I don't know, we'll have to, but we'll be working on it.
Okay.
We do know.
Great, thank you so much.
And each of the steering committees also has that on their agenda, so.
Yes.
we'll work that out, so.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? So I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice summer.